Check out the Thinking Out Loud Network at thinkingoutloudnetwork.com.
You're tuned in to the mixtape right here with your girl DJ Miss Eclectic. Y'all have a very special guest today, music extraordinaire on the scene, Mr. Dave Tolliver. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here. I've been trying to see you for the longest. Now I see you.
I know, man. See, look how God works. It's the right timing, though. It's the right timing.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
Won't he do it?
He will, all the time.
Yeah, man. I met you at WadeWorksStudios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just can't get you off my mind.
Let us pray. Lord,
no, let me quit playing around. Yeah, but yeah, we did meet there. And you know, we've been trying to put this together for the longest. I mean, I've been waiting on you. You know, I'm free.
Oh, we gonna put that on me like that. But you the man. Right now, you doing quarantine series. You doing the Dave Tolliver. You doing a show, right? Like a live show every night right now.
Yeah, well, not every night, man, because I see so many people out there. Like, I don't have the volume that a lot of these cats do because, of course, they're bigger celebrities. And I've been doing this way before quarantine. I've been doing it, so they kind of like catching up. So you know. I believe in quantity. I believe in quality, not quantity. You dig what I'm saying? So
most definitely.
On my thing, you know, you'll have a certain amount of listeners, but a lot of people will go watch it afterwards. But sometimes you'll have executives on there. You know, you have some names drop in on there too. Some of my friends, so-called I'm joking. My friends are coming there, you know, from around the league. Some are burning right now on TV shows. So you never know who might pop in there to just see what we're doing at the present time. You know, they come around and steal ideas and stuff, but, you know, like Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays are nights I do it. And, you know, I was doing interviews and stuff, but I was like, one night, one of my guests canceled and I said, let me do a talent night. And I got such an overwhelming response from it. So I just designated Tuesday as the talent, Thursday and Sunday are interviews, and mainly Sunday would be something down the inspirational line. So yeah, I do that.
That's cool. So can anybody just drop it on if they want to? You add them on, and they can showcase their talent.
On Tuesday nights, anybody can stop in, you know, and I don't censor people. So you know, myself, when I perform or do my thing, I choose not to be graphic, you know, or anything like that. But you know, if you come on, if that's your thing, that's your thing. You know, I'm giving you
that is your chance.
Drop it and roll, and let's just roll. And like I said, I have executives on there. You know, in these days and times, because of the visibility, you got to think about what you're trying to sell and who you can sell to when you're performing. Because I have people that come on my site that could get you to that next level.
And I think you said something right there, because a lot of people we're in a numbers generation. Everything is about numbers, your social media numbers, record numbers, all that. Well, it's always been about record numbers, but social media is a major thing now. But a lot of times people forget it's quality over quantity. It's actually who you're following, who follows you, whose eyes are on you. That's major for any industry, gospel industry, mainstream, R&B, rap. It doesn't matter what industry you are, that stands true.
Yeah. And it's either, you know, today it's either you have the numbers, you have the money, or you have the relationships, and you know, or if you have all three, then you gravy. But you know, if you're, I don't want to say you're a nobody, but let's just say you're beginning, you have to figure out a way to be seen, how to stick out, you know, like a needle in a haystack, so to speak, or you just have to you have to find your way. You know, and you have to keep punching until the bag bursts, or keep knocking on the door until they decide to let you in, or you know, keep working that extra job and keep investing in yourself. You know, so somebody said if you don't invest in yourself, you do a bad investment for somebody else. So,
you know. Speak. And you know, you've been in the music industry since what, the 90s?
The Stone Ages. Yeah. Well, actually, I started 1986. I started off in radio in Cleveland. I'm an OG. I'll be 50 this year. So
come on down to 80.
Yeah, I started off. My dad was a top programmer in the nation, and I started right in high school. You know, he gave me a shot because I had been around him since I was 4 years old, hanging around radio stations. So he was like, "Man, blah blah got fired. I need you to come in and work." And that night during the summer, I started working. You know, I never stopped. We were on the road, top of the charts, came back home and worked. Back on the road, came back home and worked.
You did it all. How'd you transition from radio to music? Because we all know you from Men at Large. Let me tell you, when that I'm So Alone, I used to sing that hard. Oh, I wouldn't give to see you or hear you cussing me out. That was my part. Like I was singing that hard. Let me tell you, when I was growing up. How'd you transition from radio to music?
Well, music has always been a part of my life. I started off singing in the church choir. My grandfather took a choir to sing for President Roosevelt. My mom was a singer. She did Mahalia Jackson in the off-Broadway production. You know, and just history kind of repeated itself. You know, like I said, my grandfather took a choir to sing for President Roosevelt. We toured with Bill Clinton when he was running for office at the black colleges. So I think when they say you're a product of your environment, if that's the proper, you know, phrase or title or whatever you put on it, you do become that, especially if it's all you see. You know, if it's all you're around. You know, at 4, you know, I kind of grew up in a domestically abusive home, so it was like my grandparents and, you know, my uncle, who I when I say my dad, I'm talking about my uncle. They saved me from that. They would take me everywhere, and he took me to the radio station, and that's, I mean, from the time I was 4 years old, I'm out to 12, 1, 2 in the morning with him at the station, you know, seeing everything that's going on. Man, I done met James Brown. I done met all the Jacksons except for Mike. I mean, just being around all of that stuff. Earth, Wind, you know, man, it's just amazing. And I got to see the mothership, you know, Parliament Funkadelic when I'm like 7, 8 years old, you know, at a concert on his neck, watching that stuff, you know. So, man, it's my life. You know, when you know, those are the important years. You have to be mindful if you have kids of the things that you pour into them at those ages, because I think those are the times that you catch them, because once you get them, when they get past maybe 10, 11 years old, when they really have a mind of their own and they start, you know, seeking for themselves, you have to already have those seeds planted in them, you know, like this is a Christian. So you have to, you know, train them in the way of the Lord or whatever religion that you're into. You have to train them in ways that you want them to be abundant in as they get older and seek life on their own and teachings and stuff. Because after that, it's once they get to middle school and high school, it's
yeah, it's hard right there. Yeah,
because I can just see how fast my son took off, and then my daughter, my son's about to graduate from college, and then my daughter graduates from she's going to start high school, and I could just see how fast they took off from being these itty bitty kids, and then just how fast they took off, but they still implement the things that we've taught them, and you know, put them into their daily lives. And then some of the stuff they don't, you know, and there's stuff that I wish that they would, you know, but you know, it is what it is.
You train up a child. Sometimes it'll come back around. Like you train them up, as long as you train them up correctly, it'll come back around. They won't depart too far. It might be when they get a little older, but all that training, we don't forget.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's your girl, DJ Miss Eclectic. If you're just now tuning in, we have none other than Dave Tolliver with us this evening. Woo, woo, woo. He's jamming over there. What does your shirt say? I can't see the
big boy season 365, yeah.
I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, you already know.
Shout out to the full size. Shout out to
you already know.
I'm not mad at it. So, man, if you're just now tuning in, man, we've been talking about music. As we know, he's from Men at Large. We started off with radio in '86, Men at Large in the '90s, man, still doing it. So, man, how have you seen music evolve from talking about '80s, '90s now to the 2020s?
Well, everybody uses the term. I remember when microwave ovens first came up, my grandmother used to say, boy, I ain't using no microwave. You got to wait till I heat it up. If you hungry, then you'll wait. Or you ain't hungry. And now that I'm older, I see the difference in heating it up with a microwave as opposed to just putting it in a little saucepan or a skillet and stuff and just heating it up. And that's music. It's like now you see these guys and these girls and they just putting anything down. It's like, oh, I just dropped one. And sometimes it's just about anything and nothing. I was watching Yo-Yo on her thing the other day, and the one she has this thing on Wednesdays that she does where she lets talent come on her live and go ham on there. And I guess they're looking for talent for her label. And she told the one girl was going crazy. Everybody was hitting the fire signs, and she said, she let everybody talk. And she said, well, what I think is it's not a song. It's an idea. Ooh. And, she said, what it is, she said, you're more of a freestyle artist. That she said, I can't remember anything you said in that song. And that's what's so special about the things that we did and our predecessors did up to about maybe, maybe the mid 2000s. Things started to go bad, with just people getting on records and or maybe late 2000s, I don't know, just getting on records and just kind of saying anything. I get where you're talking about your life and your culture and what you've been doing and the things that you've been through. But, at some point, you have to put some meaning into it and not just about how much weight you sold or how many women you had or how many girls your girls had or how much weed you smoke or, everybody's talking about the same thing. Nowadays, nobody wants to be original. They all cracking a seal. They all on that syrup. They all on the OZ. They all pop perks. And it's like, we did not want to be like the other groups. We wanted to be different, So I tell people now the game is like, when you I'm sure when you grew up in high school too, the elite guys had the Letterman jackets. You knew they were the top dogs of the school. Well, now it's like everybody gets to put one on. You know what I'm saying? If you walk in the gym, you get a jacket. And to me that goes with society too. They've made everything so easy.
No longer no competitions anymore. Everybody gets an award.
Man, and that's why they gave James Harrison so much flack that one time when he was like, he didn't believe his son should get an award for just participation. I
don't blame him.
Right, because it doesn't teach them anything. Just because you participate, you could have sat on the bench and not did anything. It's like, you pay for you really celebrate those that succeed. I don't know. I mean, it's a teetering scale of how you want to deal with that. But everybody doesn't deserve a shot. But everybody is special at something, and you have to go and find that. That special something. With this, that type of stuff allows parents to be lazy. Well, I'm going to go and just take them on down there. The coach let them play anyway, and I can go do what I need to do. That just gives you a chance to just drop your kid off and then you can go run somewhere for 2 or 3 hours and do whatever. You need to find out what your child is really good at, because that type of stuff will cause depression. It'll cause your child to be messed up sitting on the bench and not really being celebrated. Just it's real. We can go in it. I don't want to.
You're right though. Because everybody right. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a gift. Even the Bible talks about gifts that God gives us. So, and it says everybody doesn't have the same gift. We're talking about spiritual gifts in that sense, but it's the same type of concept. Everybody doesn't have the same gift, so you can't make your child like something just because. And if they're not good at it, they're not going to exceed it. They're not going to succeed it, as you say. And that's the thing with me too, with competition. It's hard to say, but life is a competition. You can't, everybody's not going to get the job because there's not enough resources for everybody to get the job. Right. So you need to teach your child how to, compete in a nice way, as you could say, sportsmanship way. But life is still a competition. In the gospel industry, there are still Billboard charts. There are still awards. Life is still a competition. It could be a friendly competition. It could be still faith-based competition.
And the gospel, boy, it's fierce, boy.
It gets real. It's still an industry. It's the gospel. We serve God and we're Christians and we have faith, but it's still an industry at the end of the day. There's ministry and then there's industry.
And I remember when I started doing gospel plays in like the mid to late 90s, and it was in their mind to destroy the R&B artists when you came on to those shows.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
say what?
I said, oh no. So I really and truly had to up my skills, and I got ferocious with it. And I said, that'll never happen again. For me, it got to a point where I was like, let me just let him, amen. And I was like, nah, that ain't happening no more, because it kind of will limit your money. But then when they find out what you really can do, I was like, let me get this. Let me get up in him and let him know what time it is. You know what I mean? So
let's go.
I had to get the checker. I had to get the check and let them know what time it is. But yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Now you see so much, and you have so much knowledge in the industry as well. I can really appreciate that, and I love it. Like, how do you think you stay relevant this long? Like, we in 2012. So, how many years has it been?
Well, professionally, I started. I guess you would say in music. Probably we signed our contracts like 90, 91, but my first release was in 92. So this year we'll make 28 years. Wow. Coming up in a couple, and I think the first single came out. Wow. Yeah. In May, I think it was like May 7th. So like the anniversary is coming up of our first single, Use Me, is coming out. I got to find the exact date because I never do posts on that. But 1992 to, that's 28 years this year. So we're coming up on 30. We're coming up on 30. So it's been a blessing, man. I just think, and I'm going to do some self-gratification here. You know, I know they say self must die sometime, but I can say between the two partners that I've had, the reason why the name still resonates in people trying to die, because I refuse in letting another man or woman tell me when I can eat. You can't tell me when I can eat. I'm not going to let you. I'm not the type of guy that sits back and let you hand me my plate. I'm going to get it. And, you know, unfortunately, I haven't had the support from my two partners, the original guy and then the second guy. I do everything. Mm-hmm. And it started. So, I mean, that you tell me, you know why I stay, or because that's what I did. I'm not going to wait for somebody to call me. I'm going to go get them. I'm be like, hey, man, I'm doing this. Put me on the team. I'm not ashamed. And my pride doesn't stop me from asking somebody to put me on the team, or, hey, let me get some work over there. Let me write for some of you guys over there. Let me do some vocals on some of those projects. Or, hey, man, why don't you, book the group over there? We got some things going on, because sometimes people have a tendency to forget. I was so blessed to do an interview with a West Coast radio legend the other night. And he was like, man, yeah, I remember the first two albums were classics, man. And then y'all kind of just disappeared. I kind of forgot, but this dude knew every doggone record. And it was such a blessing, because the people were, his thing, and people were calling, oh my God, I love them, where they been, da, 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 da. And, it's refreshing, but people have forgot. But, it's, let me keep it 1,000 with you. When you don't have a bunch of money to pay for these expensive publicists in the excess of $3,000 to $6,000 a month, that's somebody's mortgage. Or you have these people that say they have these connections and different stuff like that, and a lot of them do, to make a call for you. Oh man, just shoot me over 500, shoot me over a few hundred. So man, why, dude? It's just a phone call. Like I just never believe in charging people for a plug or charging people for a contact or different stuff like that. And that's why we continue to struggle as a community on the whole, because nobody wants to plug people. You know what I mean? And,
you're right.
And we're going to continuously be hurt and continuously be Black business until we change that aspect of thinking about each other. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, if I'm on Facebook Live or Instagram Live, and I'm long-winded, but I just, I like to, if there's people on there and I know they have a business and I know there are people in my life that can benefit from it, I say, hey, man, y'all need to follow her because she does this. Or, hey, man, y'all need to follow him because he does that. Or I say, hey, such and such, you need to connect with da-da-da because they do da-da-da-da-da-da. Man, I don't really care, man. You don't do things for people to get something from them. You just do it just because. That's God's way, right?
Exactly.
He had to give us his son, but he did.
But he did.
I'm saying.
Willingly.
I'm saying
I think your blessings will come back to you when you do that as well. They might not come back immediate, but I think God definitely remembers, and your blessings will definitely come back to you, which explains partially your longevity in the game and why you're still here and why we still talking about you, why you're still relevant.
And you know what? And there's probably some other things that I still need to do, which is why I'm not super rich.
We all do something. Lord, bring down the wealth. Lord, bring it down.
I'm joking. One thing I stopped doing is praying for stuff like that. A good friend of mine told me that he prays for wisdom, and wisdom is a lot of times is all you need, because when you pray for wisdom, it helps you figure out everything else, man. when you have wisdom, it says, oh, well, if I just stop doing this, and sometimes it's just as simple as, man, why the TV ain't doing it? Oh, man, just wiggle this cord. Oh, I should have did that 3 hours ago instead of breaking this glass. I'm talking about, so I don't know, man. That's where I'm at.
I love it, though. I think another thing, a simple prayer is just like, Lord, I pray that I'm in your will. Because if in your will, it's a simple prayer, but things will, I promise you, they're going to fall into place. Because we could think, well, Lord, I think I have this talent. I think I have this gift. But until you ask, you pay, Lord, am I in your will? Am I doing what you want me to do? Not what I want to do, but what you want me to do. Not what I think I'm good at, but what you made me good at. And everything's going to fall into place. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked. Right here, we'll be right back. It's the Mixtape with my boy, Dave Tolliver.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
It's your girl, DJ Mr. Eclectic. If you just now tuning in, I have my boy, Dave Tolliver.
The GOAT.
Big boy, 365.
Yeah, big boy season 365.
Yeah, he's been dropping some gems. Like when I tell you he's been dropping some gems, he's been dropping some gems. I'm trying to tell you. So let's get into these gospel songs. I gotta play one of them in a minute. So what made you kind of transition to do gospel for a while?
It's always been in my shondo. And people always tell me, man, your voice is so anointed. You need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah. And one of the ones you have is something that I wrote for somebody else. They never used it. So I said, I'm going to put that out myself. And that's, we were talking earlier about the album that I'm going to drop called As Is. It's records that I have that have been in my hard drive and on CDs, which some kids don't even know what a CD
compact discs.
And that's going to come out. It should have come out already, but due to my procrastination, it hasn't. And technical difficulties. So like these computers nowadays, they won't play the discs. Like I have my couple MacBooks, they would not play the discs. So I have an old MacBook that plays it, but then I put it on that MacBook, but it won't shoot it to where I need it to go. So, here it is. We're dealing with all the stuff here. But when the time is right, it'll be up, and it's called As Is by various producers that I've been working with over the years. But this has always been my thing. Like right now, I'm stepping into a few different arenas: Southern Soul, still doing the R&B, but I'm definitely getting into the inspirational gospel. And I just haven't, people haven't sent me, like when I get music, like some people might think this is funny, but then some people might understand that when people send me tracks, I close my eyes, and if it starts talking to me, I start talking back. Like it'll really I hear something, I'll start hearing words in my head, and I'll just start singing it. And the song, one of the songs that you have is called Church House.
Yep.
And it's just, meet me at the church house. Like right now is where we need, people are forgetting about God, and, they're just talking about the virus, and they're scared to do this. And I'm one of the ones that have been kind of scared to go into the church and stuff like that. But we go to the store and do this and do that. But I mean, I guess we need the church to survive too. But then I guess we can watch it on TV.
You can watch it. You can stream it. You can stream the church.
Yeah, but we can't stream no chicken wings. You know what I'm saying?
No, you can't stream that after church dinner.
No, you sure can't get that gospel bird. This song is something that was just, you see me, I had a surgery where I got injured some years ago. And my partner brought his computer over here, and he was like, man, get your big tail out of bed and start working. So everything I was writing at the time was all like inspirational. And that was probably like the first one I came up with is, meet me at the church house. Everybody put the word out. Lay your problems at the altar. Say a prayer for our sons and daughter. And that's where we at.
It grooves too. When I played it, I was like, oh, this grooves. I like it.
It grooves. And that's produced by my man, James Worthy. And it just goes hard. And it just tells the story of church. And it says, it don't matter what you did last night. It don't matter how late you stayed out last night. Don't matter what you did. Just lay it at the altar. Give it to the Father.
Hey, that's it.
Let me know if you need a ride. Don't wait too late to give me a ride. I'll see you tomorrow. Bottom line, meet me at the church house. That's a more straightforward gospel feel. The other one is I Forgive Me. And I wrote this song, I wrote it for a guy who was basically a butt. And I knew that he had some things he needed to show up. But then when you listen to it, there's some things that we all have gone through that we need to forgive ourselves for, some things that we've done, some things that we've said. And, I forgive me. And it's saying that, it doesn't matter what you think about me anymore. I forgive myself. I've given it to God. I've forgiven myself. The things I used to do, I ain't doing it no more, and that's just basically all that one is. And I just kind of pinned it kind of nice though. It's I forgive me.
Hey, that's major because God, we go to God, He's going to forgive us. And I like both songs. Love that. Love the church houses. One thing I do like about this quarantine is the church is not the four walls. And like you said, no matter where you were last night, no matter if you were up partying with D-Nice the night before, you can still go to church in the morning because all you got to do is stream it. So,
I mean, just be honest. I mean, I went to a big time mega church at one time, and you see the street cats. It's more of them in the church on Sunday than you see. Like I would see more of the street cats at the gospel plays than you would see the regular people. I mean, that's what Jesus hung out with. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. The church is for hurt people, though. I mean, it's fine for those of us. I'm a church kid. For those of us who, but we don't make us better than anybody else. But for those who know God, no, that's great. But the church is for the hurt people. We all hurt. Everybody. Just because you're a Christian doesn't make you better than anybody else. You just have somebody to take your issues and your worries too. You know God. You know where you're going. But that's the only difference to me. That's the only difference. I don't look down on people. I don't care if you came from the club. I don't care if you came from outside laying down on the ground. Hey,
because ultimately, your judgment is your judgment. You ain't judged for his judgment. Ain't gonna be your judgment. I mean, I think a lot of times, people have taken religion and especially Christianity. You got all these different departments of Christianity, and it's separate here and separate there. Even under certain denominations of Christianity, they preaching differently in different houses, and different rules and different stuff. It's like you confused. You don't know what to do in different stuff. And I think, a lot of these guys have let the business take over the true meaning of what it is. And I understand people got to get paid to be a messenger. But I don't know. That's a whole nother interview we could talk about.
That is a whole nother. Well, what I tell people on that, the simple answer, because they can go real deep. I say relationship over religion. You have a relationship with God. You have a relationship with Jesus. You talk to him. Prayer is communication. You communicate with him. They say pray without ceasing. You pray with, that doesn't mean that you got to be on your knees 24 hours a day. That means just talk to God throughout the day. Lord, bless this drive on the way home. Lord, bless these people in quarantine. Lord, bless these people in the hospital. Just talking to him, you will build a relationship with him. And when you build a relationship, then you make an Excel to start to read the word. And it may Excel from there that God's speaking to you. So there are different levels, but just have a relationship with Jesus. You can say, if you need to go to church, have a relationship over religion. And then God doesn't operate in confusion. So you don't have to worry about that confusion if you have a relationship with him. It's people who go to church every day who don't have a relationship with him.
They still confused. I tell people like this. Life is about choices. And, I know we're running out of time, but I tell people it's like no matter what size you choose, and I don't know how relevant this is to what we're talking about, but I think it is. It's like you have to make a choice, and ultimately your relationship is your relationship. So when you take a flight or you buy a product or different stuff like this, life is like this. You always get this survey, right? And it's 1 to 5. 1 being the worst, and 5 being the greatest experience you've ever had. That's all life is, 1 to 5 every day. No matter what side you're on, you're going to go through that regardless. So it's all about faith, whether you believe or not. If you believe, it's on you. If you don't, you don't. Life is always going to be 1 to 5 every day, whether you believe and adhere or you don't. You're going to go through the same thing, but it's on you. When you rather believe and then in the end find out you were right, than to not. And then in the end be like, oh,
that's a long eternity. To be like, oh Lord, I was joking. Lord, I was playing. Oh, Jesus, help me. That's a bad way to end. A rapper said that too. That he said the exact words. He's a Christian rapper. He said the exact words. I rather believe and then get there. Like, okay, then versus not believing and getting there. Be like, it's your eternity is a long time.
The burn. I mean, it's some of these things they talk about. They're hard to grasp But like you said, you find your own relationship and
Yes.
you build it with God. You know, you start with the God in you and you go from there, and you just just live life, man. And try not to focus on trying to please others.
Please,
you know,
God.
trying to put on that show to do that song and dance for everybody else, because they can't make or break you. It don't matter. You
And when you're doing it for
ultimately
everybody
are
else, it shows.
already. You can tell. You can tell. You can
Most
really
definitely.
tell when it's man already.
Most
See
definitely.
how we here. We gotta get them there. We here. Get them here.
We there all day, every day. So, man, tell me what's next for Dave Tolliver. Tell me what's next. So we got the As Is, we got the gospel album that's coming out that I'm looking forward to. I got the 2 gospel songs, and I'm already excited about it. You got the single right now, Get to You. That's for you married Christians. And so what else we got coming out?
You know, actually, Get to You is actually it could be for you married Christians, but it's like dedication to all the working women out there. It's like,
Okay, we'll
because
take it.
if you look at it, I say in the second verse, I know you have children, but it's cool. I'll pick you up and we can bring them to, and we can do things that a family would do. Let's just go out and let's have a good time. Let me take you from these hard times and make you feel good about yourself. Because in the beginning, I say, every time I talk to you, talk about you overworked, you underpaid. Come on, let me show you something, because I'm trying to get with her, or either we're together and just let me relieve the attention. So yeah, but coming up for me,
you can date too. Christians can date. It's okay.
Yeah. It's like, all right. So up for me is I was getting ready to go into a studio doing a Dave Tolliver show. Just got a blessed phone call about something national. I'm going back to Dave Tolliver, doing radio, music. I'm trying to cultivate my children's music. Somebody told me I need to write this book, man. But it's like every day I get up and I'm like, but I'm going to do it. And I'm just in motion, man, just doing me. And, at 50, still learning. I'll be 50 in July. I'll be 50 in July. I'm sexy.
Man, black don't crack, man.
It don't crack unless you smoke it. And, I'm just, black don't crack unless you smoke it, real talk. If you look at our people, we age really gracefully. And the key to that is exhaling and not absorbing a lot of, stressful situations. I think that's a way to, and I try to preach. My daughter's very hard on herself about education, which is good. But I said, you don't want to overload yourself with stress before you even start to sit down and see how hard it is. I think a lot of us look at all the things we see on TV and what they're telling us, and we start to believe it beforehand, before it even starts to hit. And you'll make yourself sick believing all this propaganda out here before it even actually happens. And I think a lot of times it's not even for us. The stuff that you're talking about, it's not even, I could be wrong, but a lot of times it's not even for us. It's not even like black or white, but the black and white causes the most drama and gives them the most ratings, because that's been the biggest conflict with here in the United States. It's really about rich and poor, and it's your socioeconomic class. Trust me, there are a lot of white people out there, Latin people out there that are suffering worse than we are. You know what I'm saying? And my grandmother used to tell me, she said, baby, no matter how bad you think you are, there are a million people that are worse off than you. So you have to take what you have and make the best of what you have. Because somebody told me it's not God's job to make you rich or to make you wealthy. You should appreciate what you have, because you could not have at all. And I constantly hear people complain about the things that they don't have when you could not have what you don't have. So you have to find a way to find peace in the things that you can't change. That old prayer that's on everybody's wall, the serenity prayer. And you really have to believe in that, because that's life in a nutshell. Give me the serenity to, I don't know it totally, but give me peace to know the things I can't change.
Much things that I can summing up things I cannot change, Lord. Let me have peace with. That's the summary of it.
But that's life in a nutshell, and that's really what it is. But I'm out here, man. I have a big Mother's Day. I'm gonna say big Mother's Day concert because it's not gonna be big. It's big to me because it's just gonna be a Mother's Day serenade on Sunday. Mother's Day, it'll be on my IG and my Facebook. I'm just gonna sing some. I'm gonna do some nothing fast and upbeat, but some mid tempo, Minute Large, some songs you might have known from Minute Large and never heard, some stuff you haven't heard, some solo stuff, the hits. Of course, I'm gonna do So Alone, the Mama song. I might do a Luther song. I'm definitely gonna do a Luther song, a Stevie song.
Gonna do a Gerald song?
I already do Gerald.
I know you already do Gerald song. I just thought maybe on Mother's Day. I just started my request.
You know what I might do? I might do maybe women. No, that was Barbara Streisand and his dad. But I probably might do Baby Hold On to Me or something like that because that was big with the ladies, older. Or I know he did that In My Songs. I was listening to that In My Songs record, and that was like he did that song, finished the album right before he passed away, and that was like he was in that song. You could hear the passion, him crying for love. Yeah. Don't you start that. I'm on the interview, little girl. And it's going to be a nice concert. I'm going to stay on there for like an hour. This time it's just going to be me. I'm not going to have any comics ahead of me. It's going to be nice. The sound's going to be good. We're going to be on time.
Crazy.
And, it's going to be good. Mother's Day. And, just make sure you all follow me. I'll have the times and stuff up. It's going to be between 6 and 9, just trying to pick the right time because I know Babyface is doing something that day too, and I don't want to compete with him because I have 5 people on there. Yeah.
Well, tell everybody where to follow you on all social media platforms, where to get your new single, how do they tune in to the Dave Tolliver live show, all these great things.
So everything you can find on Instagram and Twitter is at Dave Men at Large, Dave MENATLARGE. Dave Tolliver on Facebook, and all my music is available. Now the stuff you have is not out yet. It'll be out in the next couple of weeks.
I got the exclusive gospel.
Oh, you dropping that gospel bomb on them today. But everything else is available on all platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, all that. But go to Spotify because that's where we make our money, and YouTube, and just support. Just look up Dave Tolliver. You see his face.
Boom.
The one that don't crack. The one that don't crack.
Hey, I got to ask real quick, though. My last question before we roll. Will there ever be a reunion with Minute Large?
Glad you said that. I forgot to tell you that, too. Yes. Me and my original partner, like I said, we were getting ready to start.
Jason?
Jason, the original. We were getting ready to start, and things started happening. My sister passed away towards the end of the year. We were getting ready to start, and, we had to take care of all that stuff. And then the top of the year, I was still having an end, and this happened, and then it come to quarantine and blah. So it's best if we're together doing it, because that's the magic. Like we could probably have it done where I'm watching him, he watching me, and I do mine here, send it back. But nah, we need to be in the studio together so we can document it too.
Yeah.
So we are Jason Champion, Dave Tolliver. We are definitely. It's a done deal. Yes.
Bring it back. I'm excited. That's that real R&B.
They scared of us too, man. They scared of that.
Ooh, I'm ready for it. I'm so ready for it. Well, Dave, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for stopping by the Mixtape show. I know we've been trying to do this. We couldn't do it in studio. We had to do a follow-up anyways. I still got some more questions for you. So,
anytime you get ready.
Back in. G-Wade, we coming to WadeWorksStudios. So, we got to do a volume 2. When this quarantine is over, but I appreciate you. Stay safe, be blessed, and man, I'm about to drop these gospel bombs on them.
Check out the Thinking Out Loud Network at thinkingoutloudnetwork.com.